The latest shotgun from Benelli is called the Ethos, and this is a gun that's a little different. You'll notice it's got a wood stock, and for Benelli, classic lines. They decided to go traditional on this gun in terms of its looks, but inside, this is a completely new shotgun. It relies on the Benelli inertia system of operation, and that, of course, is a rotating bolt head that has a powerful spring inside of it. There's a new detent in here that no matter how forcefully or how gently you allow that bolt to go forward, it's going to lock. Now when it comes to the barrel, it's cryogenically treated, it's chrome lined, accepts interchangeable choke tubes of Benelli pattern, but unusually there's a carbon fiber rib on top of the barrel that you can take off and replace with a wider one, a shallower one, or just take the whole thing off altogether. As well as having an interchangeable rib, it has interchangeable front beads, and of course the fiber optic posts. You simply pinch it, out it comes in case you want to change colors up. There are a couple of aesthetic changes to the gun. What Benelli engineers did was change the shape of the lock button, but also they had it cant out just a little bit. It's actually very easy to get to. Also, they've enlarged the size of your bolt release. It's a lot easier to hit, it's angled forward, and it's generally an improvement. Now, of course, this is a wooden stock gun from Benelli. You've got your forend with very tight checkering here. On your buttstock, you have a fairly wide radius to the pistol grip, so even if you have large hands or small hands, you just change your position on the stock. One of the things I like most about this gun is the fact that it has an insert up on the top of the comb. When you shoot a gun a lot, your face takes a pounding. But with this insert, it allows the gun to slide right past your cheek. Under recoil, it just goes right by. And you don't get that abrasion, you don't take that pounding. Now, of course, with an inertia-operated shotgun, you don't get any of the effect of bleeding off energy like on a gas-operated gun. When you divert some of that gas, it changes how the recoil comes back and affects the shooter. Well, Benelli has done various things. They've added recoil pads, they did the whole Comfort Tech system, which essentially turned your entire stock into a shock absorber. But now they have a progressive system they've put into this gun. Underneath the wood right here, there's a cartridge that goes in. And what that cartridge does is align plastic fingers inside the buttstock. When it fires with a light load, only the first few fingers actually flex and engage each other and slow down the recoil. With a 3-inch load, it pushes back a little further, and finally with the heaviest 3-inch loads, this gun only is 12 gauge 2 3/4. It has all of those fingers soaking up the energy. What does that mean? It means that you don't get pounded by this gun. Really, this gun feels like you're shooting a 28 gauge or a 20 gauge even when you're shooting 12 gauge loads. It does a wonderful job of handling the recoil. Another improvement is to the magazine cap. You know how sometimes magazine caps will work loose? Well, they've got a new system here that allows this thing to retain the forend and not work loose. It's actually very clever, and there is, of course, a stud for a sling swivel in the front of it. But that's another patent that they have. But take the forend and the barrel off, and you'll see this is pure Benelli. The bolt head locks up into the barrel extension, and of course, here's your ejector built into the left side of the receiver, and it's actually spring-loaded, so you can handle cartridges of different length, as well as cartridges with different recoil impulses. It doesn't look that different on the outside, but when it comes to performance, this Benelli is a game changer.